Today, we're going to crack open a book that was never, ever meant to be read by you or me. It's the private journal of one of the most powerful people who ever lived, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. And what he wrote down, just for himself, might just change how you think about leadership, about focus, and even your own place in the universe.
I want you to just picture this for a second. It's about 170 AD. You're Marcus Aurelius. You're not just a leader, you are, for all intents and purposes, the master of the known world. The decisions you make every single day shape the lives of millions of people. Your face is literally on the money of an empire that stretches all the way from Britain to Mesopotamia. You are the guy.
And yet, the work that made him a legend, the thing we're still talking about 2,000 years later, it wasn't a public speech or some grand history of his victories. Nope, it was a private journal, written only for himself. And that is the absolute core of the mystery we're unpacking today. Why would the most powerful man on earth keep his most important ideas a total secret?
To figure that out, we have to start with the text itself. What exactly is this thing we call meditations? The answer might surprise you, because it's not really a book in the way we think of one. Okay, this is probably the most important thing to get. The title, Meditations, that was tacked on centuries later. The original didn't even have a title. It was never meant for an audience, never meant for fame. Think of it as his personal playbook, a series of reminders, exercises, and straight-up self-coaching. He was, quite literally, talking to himself on paper, trying to figure out how to be a better person.
And because he was only writing for himself, the style is, well, it's unlike anything you'd expect from an emperor. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and honestly, sometimes it's just plain weird.
I mean, listen to this entry. A black character, an effeminate, unbending character, the character of a brute, infantile, stupid, despotic. It just appears. There's no context, no explanation of who or what he's talking about. It's just this raw burst of thought jotted down and then poof, he moves on. This isn't writing for an audience. This is watching a mind trying to work through its own junk. And this kind of raw stream of consciousness style is all over the place. You'll get this deep thought about life and death, and it's immediately followed by some random cryptic phrase. Now, some people have criticized it for being so disjointed, but really, that's its greatest strength. It's proof that this is the real deal. We're getting a peek into the messy, unfiltered, and totally authentic process of a mind at work.
So, if this whole thing is his personal playbook, what was the game plan? What was the philosophy he was using to coach himself? Well, the answer is a really powerful system of thought that we know as Stoicism.
Now, when we hear the word Stoic today, we usually think of someone who just grits their teeth and endures pain without complaining. But that's a super watered-down version of the real thing. For the ancient Stoics, this was a complete operating system for life. It was a practical, how-to guide for finding your own inner peace by understanding that the universe itself has a rational order, and then trying to align yourself with it.
And Marcus himself just nails the core of this worldview. He wrote, "For there is one universe out of all, one God through all." You see, for him, the cosmos wasn't just random chaos. It was a single, living, breathing organism. Every single person, every star, every little thing that happened was all part of one big, coherent whole. And the force that holds this whole thing together, the Stoics had a name for it, the Logos. You can think of it like the universe's source code, its underlying logic. A kind of divine intelligence that governs absolutely everything. It's why the seasons change and why the planets stay in their orbits. So the goal for a Stoic is to use their own little piece of reason to get in sync with that massive cosmic reason.
But this idea of cosmic unity isn't just some abstract philosophical concept. It has huge, radical consequences for how we're supposed to act in the world. I mean, if every human is part of the exact same rational system, what does that mean for how we treat each other?
It leads you straight to this incredibly profound idea, cosmopolitanism, the belief that you are, first and foremost, a citizen of the world, the cosmos. For a Stoic, this meant your main loyalty isn't to your city or your tribe or your country. It's to the entire human family. And Marcus makes this point crystal clear. He argues that what really connects us isn't based on blood or where we were born. No, it's something way deeper. It's the fact that we all share a little spark of that universal reason, the Logos. We're all family, not by blood, but by mind.
So, you've got this Roman emperor, secretly writing to himself, practicing this ancient philosophy of cosmic unity and human fellowship. Why on earth are we still so obsessed with it today? Because, as it turns out,
Marcus Aurelius was practicing a form of mental training that modern leaders are only just now rediscovering.
So, modern leadership research, right? They've identified what they call the 3 pillars of mindful leaders. These core qualities you need to handle all the stress and complexity of the modern world. And what are they? Attention, awareness, and authenticity. And what's absolutely incredible is that if you look closely at the meditations, Marcus was systematically training himself in all 3 of them.
This right here is the key that unlocks the whole thing. Modern mindfulness is all about attention, staying focused on the here and now. Marcus was constantly writing notes to himself to do exactly that. Then there's awareness, looking inward, understanding your own biases, avoiding those snap judgments. That is a central theme of his entire journal. And finally, authenticity, making sure your actions line up with your core values. That's precisely what Marcus was doing, trying to translate his Stoic principles into his daily duties as emperor. He was basically writing the first ever user manual for a mindful leader, 2,000 years before anyone even came up with the term.
So we come all the way back to our main question. Why was this written in private? Well, maybe it's because real self-improvement isn't a performance for other people. It's a quiet, daily, personal practice. By reading meditations, we're basically eavesdropping on the private workshop of a human mind. And the ultimate lesson might just be this. The most powerful person in the world realized that true power wasn't about commanding armies, it was about commanding himself. So what can we learn by listening in? Maybe everything that actually matters.